Recording? Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit sneaky. Now, we've had videos on this channel on how to review microphones online. We've had videos on this channel on how to kind of use Audio Test Kitchen to review a few different microphones to test, for your budget and stuff like that. We've had microphone reviews and lookovers on this channel. And now what we're going to do today is talk about cloning a microphone yourself. Now, you've probably heard of these microphones out there. I think Universal Audio makes some. I think Slate makes some of these microphones, and they're called modeling microphones. Now, these are microphones that are really flat in their frequency response, similar to the microphone I'm using right now. Then what they do is they get that tone and they manage to match it to a, say, popular microphone, and then they make it sound like that particular microphone. So they're kind of taking the EQ graph, they're seeing where it changes or where it differs, and then matching it up with, say, a more popular microphone like a Neumann or something like that. I thought, well, can I try and do that myself, and how would I go about doing that? Hopefully throughout this video so far you've been seeing some names pop up on the screen, and you've been hearing this microphone change as I'm talking into it. Now, my modeling mic here is the SE Electronics 2300. I like this microphone because it is a real, true, natural sounding microphone. It has a little bit of sibilance to it, and it doesn't have a huge amount of lows. So it's not kind of like this, but it's like kind of, the graph. You'll see the, I'll put the frequency response somewhere on the screen. So I was thinking, how could I possibly even match this microphone to a more expensive microphone? How could I ever match this microphone to a Neumann U87? I don't own a Neumann U87. I probably never will own one, you know what I mean? Well, maybe, but not right now, you know what I mean? How can I match this to a Manley? How can I match this to a Lauten if I don't even have them, right? Now, before we continue with what I'm about to talk about, I just want to give you guys a disclaimer. Now, I hope you're enjoying these series, but I have to make one thing clear. Although we can emulate a similar frequency response to the microphone we're copying, what we cannot recreate are the physical properties of the microphone itself. Each microphone is built differently, with different components and techniques, meaning each microphone will react completely differently to an audio source. If you truly, really want the sound, then you have to purchase the real mic. It's as simple as that. But it's always a bit of fun to experiment. So with that said, let's just dive into how I've managed to figure this out. Audio Test Kitchen was the real reason that kind of got me thinking, hold on a second. They've basically already tested every single mic for us. They've already put every single mic in the correct position and recorded the same source for us. So they've already got the signals. I was thinking, that makes a lot of sense. So what I did is I took all the signals from this microphone. So I got the vocals, I got the pianos, I got everything like that. And then I grabbed all the signals from the same source recorded with a different microphone, say the Neumann U87 or the Manley or an AKG microphone that I like. And then I use another software by Isotope, or you can use actually, if you've got Logic, you can use the EQ match. And then I matched the vocal or the signal together. So the frequency response, was near enough identical. And then I used my ear to kind of match them until they sounded near enough perfect. You might be thinking, mate, that ain't gonna work. That's some mad nonsense, weird hypothetical science. Well, I want you to take a listen to some of these sound sources, and I want you to tell me which microphone here is a £3,000 microphone and which microphone here is a £290 or £250 microphone. Now listen closely, put your headphones on. I'm gonna put a black screen on there so you don't get confused. Here's source number one.
Used to see beauty in the trepidation. The tides are closing in, swallowing the tourists. Used to see beauty in the trepidation. The tides are closing in, swallowing the tourists.
Okay. Was that easy for you? If it is easy for you, then my goodness, you are probably the best sounding audio engineer out there. It might be easy for you, but for me, I'm I'm sold, man. I'm sold. All right, so I'm gonna give you another scenario, and I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna give you 2 more scenarios. So we're gonna have 3 scenarios. We're gonna have male vocals, we're gonna have female vocals, we're gonna have a piano. So let's go for the piano next. Okay, and now finally, let's go for the male vocals.
I got things I need to get off my chest. Not get held up at claims and business. And you take my heart, my woman. I got things I need to get off my chest. Not get held up at claims and business. And you take my heart, my woman.
Could you tell the difference? So microphone A was a Neumann U87AI, and microphone B was this microphone here, the SE2300. Interesting, huh? Now, if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you the original. Don't believe me. Why would I say that? If you're not convinced yet that you can do this, let me show you the original source. This microphone V's the original microphone. So not the match sound, but the original recording that came into this microphone and the original recording that came into the U87. So I'm just going to play that back quickly on the piano, the male vocal and the female vocal.
I got things I need to get off my chest. I got things I need to get off my chest.
Used to see beauty in the trepidation. The tides are closing in, swallowing the tourists. Used to see beauty in the trepidation. The tides are closing in, swallowing the tourists.
So surely now you can hear the difference between the A and the B. But the Neumann just has that whole different sound to it altogether. So how did I go about doing this, right? And how can you go about doing this? So first of all, what you need to do is find a way to record the audio. I hope Audio Kitchen ain't gonna destroy this video here, but you need to find a way to record the audio from Audio Test Kitchen. Now what I did is I've got an AMD graphics card. You can do this with NVIDIA as well, but you can do a screen record. So I screen recorded the actual mic test that I was doing. So I lined up all 5 of the microphones I wanted to test, and I just played the sounds, recorded it into the computer, so we got the signal. Then I stripped the audio out of every single one of those, and I layered those audios into my DAW, which is PreSonus, which I use, right? Then I've got them all there. Next step I used was using Isotope, and in Isotope you can actually match EQ. So bear in mind, this is what we're going to think about here. All we're doing is matching the frequency response of this microphone. We can't actually get the real sound of this microphone. All we're doing is matching the EQ. So in a controlled environment, you can make it sound pretty close, but in an environment where the SPL or the volume of something's going extremely loud and extremely quiet, every capsule, every component inside of these microphones are going to react completely different. You know what I mean? The components inside of the Neumann are probably going to be way more, they are way more premium than the ones inside of this one. So they're going to react differently. They're going to have a different tone to them when they are pushed, when they're subtle, the low noise and stuff like that. Everything's going to be different. But all we're doing is matching the frequency response. But to the naked ear, straight away, it sounds okay as long as you have the volume of the source subject similar, right? So continuing on, I had all my audios layered into my DAW. I had my reference audio, which would be the microphone I want to copy. And then I have the mic I want it to copy onto, which is my SE Electronics microphone. So what I did is you've got to kind of place this plugin. I think it's the same for Logic as well. You have to place this plugin on your output sound. You can't put it on the channel strip itself. So make sure it goes on your output mix, right? And then what you need to do is click the record or analyze kind of sound, play back the microphone you wish to get the frequency response from. And that plays along across the screen. And then you'll notice here, you've got a little graph. That's your frequency response. Now you need to mute that microphone, go to the microphone, i.e. this one, the one you want it to clone to, get the print or the picture onto, and then you need to do the process again. So go back to the start, keep the one on the left, obviously, the reference, don't touch that. Move along to the right side, hit record and press play, and then it goes across. Now it will give you the opportunity to match those two together. You'll notice there's some scroll wheels there. You can kind of change the graph, you can smooth it out, or you can kind of do some stuff there on the side. And these are the settings that I did throughout the microphones that I tested. As you can see, they're not all the same. You can't just bang it all the way to 100. You can't put the smoothing all the way up there, because sometimes, say the smoothing, what that's going to do is when we see the graph, we kind of see there's a little spike, small spike, big spike, small spike. It's really intricate, right? It's really tight. Now, what if we smooth that out? It's just going to kind of blend those together. Then we're not really going to get the true sound. But then if we go too low on that, it's just going to be extremely sharp, and it might not be pulling them as accurate as you might think. So if you add a little bit of smoothing, it'll just round things off and it won't sound so harsh. And then what I did after that point is I would play back the, say, Neumann source file, listen to that, and I'll quickly go solo the other one, then back and forth, and I'll change the smoothing, I'll change the amount until eventually I couldn't hear the difference between the two. And I would do that for every single microphone I referenced. Then I would save that as a preset. Bit long-winded, but what do you think? It works, I think it kind of works. So let's just do a quick demonstration right now. I'm talking to you through my SE 2300. I'm going to change this from the natural sound of this microphone to a super expensive sounding microphone right now. Do I sound any nicer? Do I sound any different? Or do I sound exactly the same to you right now? We've switched it over to a Lauten, is it Lauten Eden microphone. Crazy. I would love to test one of those microphones out in real life. So if Lauten, if you're watching and you want to send me one out so we can do a real side-by-side, I think obviously having a real thing is going to be way nicer. But yeah, for us poor guys that can't afford one just yet, we can kind of hope and dream. It's like, you know, when you get those, you know, when you buy yourself a nice car, right? For instance, you get yourself an Audi and then you really want the RS6, but you can't afford it. So you put the same body kit on there and then... Oh god, that's exactly what's happening here. So I'm not trying to rip off a microphone and say, yeah, now I'm recording on that, because that's not even possible. Like, the components inside of that microphone are just anyway, but you get the idea. We can kind of get as close as we can. Now, why would we even do this in the first place? One, it's a little bit of fun. Two, I love doing weird, geeky things like this, right? And the third reason is, say we have a microphone that we've tested out in a shop or something, and we thought, okay, that sounds nice on my voice, but the microphone I have at home doesn't sound that nice straight out the box. What we can do then is obviously match it to the microphone we used in the store, and then it'll kind of already have that sound starting point, if you know what I mean. So what I'd normally do is leave that at the top of the vocal chain and then work my way after that point. So it kind of gets you a better starting point with the mic you already have, kind of replicating what a nicer microphone would sound like. Yeah, Anyway, cheeky video. I must admit it's a very cheeky video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys found some value from it. And if you do give it a try, if you do have a play around with this, then please let me know how you got on in the comments below. And if you do have a microphone that you can record and then match against, please do that as well, because I want to see how close you can get it to match with the real thing. And if any of you guys have a Neumann out there, a U87, and you have a really, really, really cheap microphone, please see how close you can get them to sound, because that'd be quite fantastic. Anyway, I think the microphone gods are trying to kill me. And on that note, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love.